Will ORCHIS' next great mutant-killing weapon help them turn the tide in the never-ending war against Krakoa? Well, let's hop into the pages of X-Men. Issue number 22, the kickoff to a brand new storyline. Let's hop on in together and find out what happens next, shall we? So then, as we open up this new issue, we actually check on in with Omega Sentinel, the secret true leader behind ORCHIS, who, you know what, she disappears so frequently from the books you forget that she's actually the main overarching bad guy in this era of X-Men comics. Omega Sentinel is out today in the shadow of the mutants' very own treehouse to have a secret meeting with one of the members of Horticulture. You'll remember them as that group of old women super scientist eco-terrorists who just so happen to model themselves after the Golden Girls aren't comics fun. It seems Omega Sentinel is trying to broker a trade, all the information Horticulture managed to gain on mutant gate technology in exchange for something that might very well save this lady in her Charlie Brown sweater's life. Apparently it has something to do with the mutants' life-saving medicine. I guess even Horticulture takes it. To stave off the effects of Alzheimer's, though, as Omega Sentinel says the drugs are tainted and soon the whole world will know. These life-saving drugs, you'll know, are of course a major component in Krakoa's soft power as a nation, allowing them to win over people's hearts and minds. As far as we knew, there was nothing wrong with the drugs and they all worked better than expected. Why are they tainted now? Well, because ORCHIS tainted them, of course. It's not the first time we've actively seen ORCHIS try and undermine and discredit the mutant nation, but this one is particularly grim. We see MODOK and Dr. Stasis fly around looking for test subjects, mostly old people, who are reliant on the mutants' new miracle medicine. Only here's the thing, the bad guys have actually discovered a special frequency that once played caused people who have ingested the drugs to go absolutely mad and defenestrate themselves in a fight-or-flight response. That understandably looks pretty damn bad, and this is just a test. Wait until ORCHIS gets a bigger signal booster. This is also apparently all part of ORCHIS' big new Phase 2 plan for taking down Mutantkind in Krakoa. What lies beyond that? Well, in the appendices we actually see some interesting references. One, we discover hilariously ridiculous Spider-Man foe Judas Traveler is actually a high-ranking member within the ORCHIS organization. But also, apparently once ORCHIS has dealt with what they call the mutant problem, they will move on to deal with the superhuman problem. Yes, that's right, they're already making plans for the next great genocide beyond this one, because, well, yeah, of course they do. That's what all hate groups do. What else are they doing as part of this plan? Well, they're also trying to gain the people's hearts and minds, but in different ways, with pop-up clinics that offer people the ability to suppress their own mutations through science and medicine. Just another way in which ORCHIS is chasing its own dream of genetic purity. Here's the thing though, once people do sign up with ORCHIS and once they realize that they're getting involved in some sort of crazy mad science, they're not allowed to back out. Luckily though, Cyclops and the X-Men have clocked these clinics as a threat and as such swoop on in to save this guy. They're also sure to say that they have no problem with people actively wanting to suppress their mutation. They just think they should be able to do it safely and without ORCHIS. Naturally, a big fight breaks out inside the clinic, and it's here too the X-Men end up coming face to face with ORCHIS' newest and deadliest weapon, a brand new generation of Sentinels called Zero Types. What makes these ones so particularly deadly and harder to deal with than other Sentinels? Well, for one thing, they're built out of a pure adamantium chassis, but not just any adamantium that was reclaimed from dead Wolverine bodies, which is actually a pretty genius bit of writing and a callback to how ORCHIS has been going out of its way to try and recycle dead mutant body parts, and also how many times Wolverine has died for the mutant cause and no one ever thought to clean up his adamantium body. This thing is incredibly hard to break down, and the only way that the X-Men team actually win this fight is by letting Firestar go whole hog with her microwave powers, nuking basically everything in the surrounding area. The day is saved, but it's made abundantly clear that this isn't the end. These new Sentinels are just going to have to be another thing on the ever-growing list of mutant problems right now. Because of course the X-Men team is still dealing with the fallout of Cyclops and Jean being at odds with each other over the Brood stuff that happened in the last arc. The Hellfire Gala is just around the corner, and apparently Forge, the resident tech expert of the X-Men team and basically all of Mutantkind, is thinking that he wants to go somewhere else and do something new. Apparently the tree technology that allows the X-Men access to their brand new base right in the middle of New York City has actually fared way better than Forge ever could have imagined. So much to the point that he actually wants to give it to the people of the world as a gift. He figures that in just a couple months they can probably wipe out all of homelessness. But of course, as anyone who's followed human history can tell you, those out there who try and actively change the status quo for the better often don't end up living very long. And if Orchis has their way, Forge and the others won't be living very long at all. They're already starting work on their brand new Sentinel Zero model, only this one they've zhuzhed up by putting actual flesh and blood on top of it this time, in a way making the ultimate infiltrator killer. But I mean, hey, it's not like they can open their own Krakoan gate. I mean, not yet they can't. And so that was X-Men issue number 22, everyone, the kickoff to a brand new story arc, and I gotta say this one actually grabbed me right away with several really compelling ideas. Obviously, we've seen lots of different Sentinels before with a bunch of different powers and gimmicks and everything, but I just gotta love the fact that this one is the end result of mutant arrogance, to think that Wolverine died all these times and they didn't try and get his skeleton back every time it happened. This was also a real Orchis-heavy issue too, and did a good job refocusing on them as the main bad guy in the X-Men books, because, well, they always were. It just so happens that they were often being overshadowed by people like Apocalypse and Sinister and even Moira herself. If we really truly are entering the Fall of X era, it only makes sense that one final confrontation between Orchis and the X-Men is inevitable, and I'm glad to see Orchis actually get some small wins here to help reestablish themselves as a dangerous new threat to Krakoa, especially because the mutants of Krakoa seem like they can do just about anything whenever they want now. I'd actually say too, this issue serves as a nice hopping on point. Maybe you've let your X-Men books fall by the wayside, maybe you want to get back in. I think this is a good way to do so. Overall, I'd feel comfortable giving this one a 7.5 out of 10, and I'm definitely interested to see where the rest of this arc goes from here. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow, and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.